Hi, welcome back to your video training series on how to sell your home by owner, and today we're going to talk about price. My name is Mike Darda with Century 21. I am thrilled to offer you these tips and techniques on how to sell your home by owner, and pricing is obviously a critical part of it. So let's talk about the different ways price is not determined, and then we'll talk about how it is determined. For example, appraisals. A lot of people pull out an appraisal out of a drawer and say, my house is worth this because an appraiser said so. But you got to consider there's a lot of variables on the appraisal. For example, appraisals use historical data. Some of the comparable sales may be up to 6 months old, and the market may have changed some since then. Appraisals are done for different reasons, for financing, for estates, divorces, obviously for selling property, for banks. And the reason for this is the price could be different depending on why the appraisal was done. So you got to consider that. And also, appraisers have various different knowledge levels of the community and your type of property, and appraisals can vary wildly based on how familiar the appraiser is with our community here. Tax value. I'm often asked, does the assessed value by the county appraiser have any relation to market value? And in my opinion, no, because I've seen tax values vary wildly from being as much as 20% below what a home might be worth to as much as 20% more than what a house is actually worth. So we can't use that. A lot of times, well-meaning neighbors might try to give you an opinion of what you think you should sell, what they think you should sell your home for. And this is usually not a good idea because neighbors are biased. You see, if you sell your home at market value and it's lower than what your neighbor's comfortable with, they'll tell you you're pricing it too low because they're afraid it might devalue their home. So you don't want to go on that. A lot of people look at what's on the market. My neighbor over here is asking this, my neighbor over there is listed for that. You really don't want to go strictly on that either because, remember, those homes haven't sold and they may never sell. So you really don't want to build your whole marketing campaign on a price based on something that isn't selling. Now, need is another way sellers try to pick a price. They say, Mike, I need this much out of my home so I can buy this property over here. And I wish it worked that way, but in the reality is what you need to get out of this property to buy something else somewhere else or pay off something has no relationship to what your home is worth in this market. What you paid for it, again, unfortunately, that doesn't have any relationship to what it's worth. You may have bought the home 5 years ago during the peak and now it's worth half of what it was then. Or you may have bought it 15 years ago and it's worth way more than you paid for it. So you can see what you paid for it has really no relationship. What other agents tell you, again, that does not always ring true too, because you got to consider the motivation of real estate agents. They want your listing. Of course, they want the house to sell so they can get paid. So one agent might give you a low price that's designed to sell it quickly and it's going to sell fast, they're going to get their commission. Another one's going to tell you maybe a high price because they know you're interviewing a bunch of agents and they want to list you high to lock up in the listing and then beat you up on the price week after week to get you down. So you can't go necessarily on what agents say. So what determines price? Ultimately, it's what the buyer thinks it's worth. And how the buyer is going to determine price is they're going to comparison shop. And think about when you bought your home. How many homes did you look at? How did you decide if it was a good value? There's two ways to improve your value in the eyes of a buyer. One is to have more features and benefits than your competition for, and this is key, a similar price. Or the other way is to have a more competitive price than your competition. Either way, the buyer will see that your home is the best value and pay very close to your asking price. So if you want more tips on what is a realistic price in this market for your home, feel free to give me a call with no obligation. I'd be glad to provide that for you. Thanks for watching.